What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. And today, man, I'm joined with none other than the Ethan Vance. Bro, Ethan, how's it going, bro? I haven't seen you in so long.
It's going good. I'm glad to be back. You know, I stepped away, accomplished a few things, becoming a dad, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to be sitting next to you.
Dude, I know it's been too long, bro. It's been too long. So today, we're going to be talking about the NFL draft. Mock draft, Mel Kiper's mock draft, to be exact. Going to be going over it. Going to be Ethan's got some stats for each player. And then, once we talk about all of them, I'm going to kind of give what I think, who I think these teams should draft, really just the Titans, because, we make bad decisions. But starting off, round one, pick one, who would have thought? The Las Vegas Raiders. And who do they take?
They're going to take the Indiana quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza, of course, coming off a stellar year at Indiana, winning the national championship, becoming what nobody thought what he could. This past year he had over 70 touchdowns along with, 22 interceptions along with, over 8,000 yards passing. So I feel like it's a young core coming in along with their young backfield and Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers out at tight end. So I think it's a really good fit as they can slot him in and, they can get him some protection.
Yeah, definitely. I think, that's the right choice. That is the only correct choice at number one, especially for the Raiders, definitely having huge, crazy quarterback problems. Now, moving on to round one, pick two, New York Jets, taking David Bailey, offensive linebacker outside linebacker, offensive linebacker is not a position, from Texas Tech. David Bailey, man, have you seen this dude play?
Yeah, he was crazy. He was crazy at Texas Tech. Was a really strong piece in that defense, and like I said, coming in, you got to be a difference maker once you're a lottery pick. Yeah. And I think he will be. I think he will be a difference maker on that team. They got to develop the right people. They obviously this offseason they optioned for Breece Hall's fifth year. Yeah. So they got to make this one count because when guys start to become repetitive of losing, and the Jets have been in the top five the past 3 years. Yeah. In some of those years they had Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, but it becomes repetitive where they don't want to lose, and those players are going to want out. And Breece Hall's a stellar player who can make plays, and he's going to want out if they can't do something this year. So hopefully bringing this young guy will bring some spark to that team.
I definitely agree, especially since the Jets over the offseason made some trades, got rid of Sauce Gardner, as well as, what was that defensive lineman name?
They also got rid of Quinnen Williams.
So they definitely lost some pieces on defense, and they need to definitely rebuild on that. So now moving on to the third team in the first round, Arizona Cardinals, and they've got them projecting taking Arvell Reese.
Yeah, I don't know really how much I agree with that pick due to the fact that you still have Marvin Harrison, but that's kind of your only really guy who can catch a ball right now out there. Of course, they've had their problems with Kyler Murray this offseason. But they're going to need somebody to come in and take over for Kyler, and they're going to need someone who can sling it. So don't know if really going to your defense is the best option. Yeah. Maybe they'll look a different way and get them a wide receiver other than Marvin Harrison, who's a stellar receiver out there. But you're just going to need more than one guy who can make a play on the ball. And
I definitely agree. It's kind of how the boat that the Titans were in last year. You've got so many positions that you need to fill, and where do you start? I don't know exactly who they're going to put in as their quarterback. They definitely have quarterback needs. Now Kyler Murray's with the Vikings. So definitely something that I don't know, didn't necessarily agree with this pick as well. So I guess we'll see how it plays out. Now, moving on to the True Blue Tennessee Titans. 4th overall pick in this draft. 3 steps up from last year's number 1 overall. Who's it say we're taking?
The running back out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love. And the thing about Jeremiah Love is he had a slight down year this year at Notre Dame, but he still produced. And the thing about it is if you're going to start here, you realize you have your quarterback that you want in the future, Cam Ward. Yep. You got a new stadium coming in. You're trying to bring football back to Tennessee, where Titans fans have not had the most fun in the past couple of years, of course.
Definitely agree.
But you have a new guy coming in, Brian Daboll. You're going to have him bring that spark. What can he do with Jeremiah Love? What can he do with Tony Pollard, Cam Ward, Chimere Dike, all those guys coming in and trying to make a play on the ball. And that offensive line, you're going to have to make strong this year. You got to have everybody healthy.
Definitely.
That was a big thing. Cam Ward was running a lot for his life last year. Now, if Jeremiah Love isn't there, I say you look at another option that I saw, Cornell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State.
I agree.
Made big plays. Week 1 of the college football season, he went up, got a ball over Texas. That was a big game. He made a name for himself. So it's going to be, it's going to tell you how it falls to him there at 4. But I mean, whatever they pick, I feel like that Cam and the new offense and some of these new guys will have a very big say in.
I definitely agree. I don't necessarily think that Jeremiah Love is the wrong decision, but I don't think Tony Pollard was necessarily the issue. So, yes, I think we need an upgrade at running back, but I don't think we need to do it now. I think we should focus on the defensive side of the ball, maybe go after an outside linebacker or maybe a edge rush threat with the outside linebacker or maybe just a defensive lineman or maybe even a safety. Or a cornerback.
And before Jeremiah Love was the option, we were looking at Ruben Bain out of Miami. That's the type of difference maker you want on your D-line. Someone who will bull rush somebody, put them back on their heels, and go get that quarterback. And you don't have that a lot on the Tennessee Titans defensive side of the ball. You have Big Jeff up front, but other than him, who's really going to go get that quarterback?
And
Ruben Bain's a freak athlete. And honestly, if they don't go Jeremiah Love or Cornell Tate, I think Ruben Bain will be there, and I think they should really go and get him.
I think that's a great pick too. Like I was just saying, man, if we don't solidify the offensive line over this offseason, there will be no point in taking Jeremiah Love because he's not going to have any lanes to run in. Like you said with Cam Ward, he was running around the whole season, and I glaze him maybe just a little bit. He's still played great, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
With having to run around.
He had to some people on the outside looking in, he had a rough rookie year, but you got to take into considerations of who he didn't have. It was hard. You're trying to rebuild a team, and Mendoza's going to run into the same issue that he's going to have. When you're the number 1 quarterback taken at round 1, pick 1, you have standards, and you can't. And the problem was Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud created a standard where round 1, pick 1 quarterbacks won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that.
You're right.
And Cam Ward saw the struggles, but I think that he'll take a big sophomore step, and I think he'll be just fine as long as they get him some protection and playmakers.
I definitely agree. And kind of to get away from the top 5 picks here, I think in the second round we definitely need to look at wide receivers. I think that let me rephrase that. Not in the sense of drafting one. Maybe trade our pick and get a veteran guy. I know we got Wan'Dale Robinson, but we have really good young wide receivers, but that was the issue last year. We were throwing to rookie wide receivers, Calvin Ridley, and this is an unpopular opinion with Titans fans. I say good riddance. You're hurt. I understand. Maybe it's time to hang up the cleats.
Right.
So now moving on to the 5th overall pick in this draft, the New York Giants are looking to take Caleb Downs.
Yeah, he's an X factor. You saw him at Ohio State. He was a big playmaker, big guy, big, strong, freak athlete at safety position especially. But they're going to run into the same issue all these teams are having. You got Jackson Dart. You took him last year. You surprised a lot of people with that take, and you're having Malik Neighbors come back from an ACL tear. But you got to know, if you're going to go make a defensive pick, you want that guy to make a splash.
Yeah.
So, Jackson Dart had an honestly above average rookie year, I guess you could say. He took over late over Russell Wilson. But I think this pick right here will give them solidified help on defense. I think Malik Neighbors coming back. I think Dart being here, I think that connection will be really big. And I honestly, saying this, I think Malik Neighbors could be an over 1,000-yard receiver this year. That's going to be your guy when Jackson Dart third and 1 throwing that post fade for a game winner.
Yeah,
Malik Neighbors is going to be the guy, and I think he'll make that catch 10 times out of 10 times.
I definitely agree. I think that, like you said, man, if you're going to take a safety, especially this high, he's got to be a stud.
Right.
He's got to be a difference maker from day one. And I know I wrote down some stats maybe on there. I think that we're saying he was kind of a dual threat in the return game too. He took some punts, which, that's some very different ball game when you go from college to NFL. So I don't know how much
he had two.
he will be of an effect on that.
But the last thing I have to say about the Titans is the Titans bringing in this new group of just team all around. I think you got to make a splash, and if you're not going to make that splash with Jeremiah Love, you should take a real long look at that draft board and about the people around that table and see what they want. And I think you make a phone call to Cam Ward to see who he thinks.
Yeah.
If that's your franchise guy, who do you want beside you?
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you guys for tuning in as I was joined with Ethan Vance today. Hope you enjoyed, and y'all have a good day.